Hello YouTube. After my last video just a couple days ago, I was out in the greenhouse shortly after it and realized that I had left out a lot of things that I should have included in the video. So here is an addendum to my update for November 2016. I'm just going to start off with some plants, some pots that I ordered. They're from two different individuals. These pots were made by Kevin Hess. He's actually in Orchaholics group on Facebook. He made these for me, and also another plant that I have potted up a Stennorynchus in. And then I got these pots from Jan Lesnikowski. He's out in, I think his company is called Moss Farm Studio, I believe, and out of Connecticut, I believe. And he made these pots for me. I love them. They're also beautiful. I'm afraid to put plants in them, but I will eventually, that's for sure. And while we're on the subject of that, I'm going to show you this new acquisition that I got this week. This is Paph Fred's Ara, which is Luna Magic Opulence crossed with Fred's Ghost. And let me show you the flower. Although the outside is very nice. There's the flower. I was actually hoping for more yellowing along the petals here, along with this green. I wanted it to be a little more yellow. I was expecting it to be. Hopefully it will mature into that trait. I do like that trait. But still, pretty flower. It's not fully open, as you can see. I had to tilt that up to show it to you. But I just wanted to share that with you. I'll have to repot this eventually. It's got another growth coming up there, which is nice. But anyhow, let's go out to the greenhouse. All right, YouTube, we're back out in the greenhouse. And this is kind of going out a little bit, although there is another pseudobulb here with sheath on it. But this is my Cattleya bobettes, which is a cross between Cattleya bobales times Cattleya mossiae. This blooms for me every year. I've had it 5 years, and it's always produced two pseudobulbs that have eventually flowered. This is the first pseudobulb. It did have another flower that has already gone past, and I pulled it off yesterday, and this is the second flower out of that pseudobulb. And again, this flower has been open probably a month already, and it still has that delicate fragrance. Okay, moving on down this way, I kind of wanted to point out this plant right here. This is my Schomburgkia Undulata. I've had this again for many years. It has flowered for me a couple times, but not for several years. This year it does have a spike. I'm not sure if you can see that because it's in the shadow. Actually, it kind of looks like it blasted. Yeah, I would say it's blasted. Yeah, I would say it's blasted. This is a recent repot. I repotted this probably last year. Well, I was earlier than this year. I repotted it into this really big net pot to allow for future growths. Did get a lot of sunburn when I put it outside this spring. But anyway, I had hopes for the flower spike, but I guess I don't have to worry about it now because it's not viable anymore. But the flower spike eventually will, well, not eventually, not this one, but maybe subsequent years I will get a flower spike that will mature, and perhaps it will, get several feet tall and produces waxy, dark lilac flowers, almost maroon, with a pink lip, wavy, petally pink lip, fragrant. Okay, moving on down. This is a relatively new acquisition. I've kind of featured it at the end of the last video, my November 16 update. This is a Stennorynchus. This is Glicensteinii. And this is actually somewhat sentimental to me. Here's the tag. as Leon Glicensteinii was the breeder and chief plantsman out at Usual Orchids before they went defunct. And him and I got to know each other pretty well, and he is the one who turned me on to Angraecoids, since they had a lot of Fred Hillerman's collection. Plus they were doing their own hybrids of their own. So I learned a lot from Leon, and I'm glad that I have his Stennorynchus, because it is absolutely beautiful. And that is definitely the flower. Okay, moving down from there is something that I've featured on Facebook pretty much for the last couple of weeks. This is Bulbophyllum Melting Point. This is a cross between Bulbophyllum Doris Dukes and longissimum. I measured these flower petals, and they are actually 9 inches long. I haven't seen too many of them with this dark of a pink lip, but it is a fantastic flower. It does have a very pungent, but it's tolerable scent to it. But again, it is pungent, has that funky Bulbophyllum scent to it. But again, a very nice flower with the hairs on the petals and the striping and the spotting inside on the inside of the petals, and that dark pink lip with spotting even on the lip, and just the stripes that go down. Very, very nice. Very happy to have it. Okay. Next, I'm going to point out something that I never pointed out in my greenhouse, but I do have a vanilla. It is just in this little bitty pot, and it's just kind of hanging there dangling. I haven't changed the media, nothing. And I really didn't expect it to do much, but as you can see, it has attached itself to just this steel pole. And here it is, behind here. There's the top. So I'd say it's doing okay for not having any media, besides a little bit of moss here and there. But for the most part, it's just growing bare root on this steel pole. I've only had this about a year, so still a fairly young plant, but doing a lot more than what I thought it would ever do. Right next to it, I won't even spend too much time on this. This is my Angraecum Lemforde White Beauty. I pointed this out as a new acquisition. It's got a new leaf forming, so I have lots of high hopes on this plant. It is a mature size, but again, it's a relatively new acquisition. Since I'm pointing out new acquisitions, I want to point out this plant. This is a plant that I smuggled into the States. I actually was in Sicily last month, and I ordered from a Belgian nursery there, Petron something. But anyhow, they had this cross that I have never seen or found in the States after I realized they had it. It's Angraecum Lady Lisa, can't see with it. Rosemary, that's what it is. Lady Lisa Rosemary. It's a cross between magdelanae, Angraecum magdelanae, and Angraecum scottianum. Very nice. But there it is. It's potted up. This is just sort of where I'm keeping it right now. I'm going to move it over to a more intermediate area, in a more shady area. Both of those species like it like that. Down here, those two blooms down there are Bulbophyllum that I just threw down there. It wasn't really doing well. It was a mounted plant. Actually, it was in that pot that it's sitting in, and that's the only section of it that has left. This is Bulbophyllum laxiflorum, and I believe those the ends of the what is on the inflorescence will turn into sort of star-shaped white flowers that are fragrant and kind of starburst-like. They open up at the ends of the umbrils. I think they get a little bit longer as they mature, but it still seems like it's got a long way to go. Bulbophyllum laxiflorum. I'll give you one more shot of this. This is my NOID Cattleya. It is fully open. Look at that color. So nice. And as I said in my last video, it will change colors as it matures. It comes out beet red, and it will soften to an orange and then even turn into shades of yellow orange as well. And I hope to get this identified next month at the iOS meeting that's at Hauserman's, which is where I purchased this plant. Okay, what else? Oh, here's a plant that I completely missed. This is identified as BAK cotton candy, which everyone can see that it's a intergeneric, Oncidium intergeneric. I believe the plant now is called, what is that genus called, or what is that called? Aliceara. I believe it's Aliceara. Clownish cotton candy, that's what the new name of it is. And it is in spike. There's a spike. This flower has equal parts of Miltonia spectabile, Brassia vericosa, and also Oncidium wentworthianum. It has a white flower. No, yeah, it does have a white flower, but it has lots of purple lilac along the edges, and also some spotting, and looks almost like a clown towards the middle of the flower, fanning out to the end. That's that. What else? I believe that's about it. I'll focus back on this to end the video. Again, thanks for watching. Enjoy your orchids. Bye.